Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Olympic Sevens. This one, New Zealand taking on Argentina in what will be a very entertaining game. And we're at that stage of the competition. There are only theoretically, I believe, 10 more matches that will be left of this comp. So, of course, we want to see some great games of rugby being played. And also, we do hope that the weather does behave, but at the moment the weather is not behaving. Unfortunately, it does look extremely wet at the Stade de France for the final day. We did get a little bit of rain at the end of day 2, but it does seem like day 3 is going to be completely drenched, and that could heavily affect the way that the rugby is being played. We saw a couple sides not do so well in the rain yesterday, but today it's finals day. We've got the semi-finals only a couple hours away. Also alongside that, we will be seeing the 5th place playoff game between New Zealand and Argentina, or one of the 2 semi-finals. Whoever wins this game will take on the winner of USA versus Ireland, and that will be for 5th place. Then also later on, we have got a 9th place playoff game that will be between Kenya and Samoa that we are also covering on the channel. But at that stage, we will know exactly who is going to be through to the final and who will be playing off for the bronze. But the crowd does look like they're still going to be showing up big time for this contest, seeing as both of these sides, it's the thing, they've got good fan bases in terms of the amount that will show up to the game. Of course, a lot more people would have liked to see the New Zealanders make it through to the final, try and defend that silver medal, but they have not been able to do so. They were beaten fair and square by the Blitzboks in that quarter. Looking snazzy in your suit and tie. Says Hillary, thank you very much. We thought we'd better dress up for the final of the Olympics. If there was ever a time to wear a suit, it is when a side is receiving that gold medal. My bad, thought it was South Africa, France, New Zealand, easy peasy. Says Mr. All-In, South Africa versus France, a little bit later on, of course, but at the moment, it is raining. It is 18 degrees. They've got it as a light rain, which is a little bit handy for these two sides. Hopefully, it does pass a little bit by the time we get to the semis and also the final. But the Olympic Sevens, we are getting close to this match kicking off, I should say, ladies and gentlemen. As a starting lineup for New Zealand, it will be Scott Curry, Tony Nashu, Kulia Rokalisoa, Dylan Collier, Moses Leo, Leroy Carter, and also Joe Weber for the Argentines. It is Jaquan Palandini, Graziano, Augustin Fraha, Santiago Alvarez, the captain, Matthias Azatsuk, Santiago Mari, and then also Rodrigo Isgro once again in the starting lineup. Now, for anyone who was wondering why Rodrigo Isgro wasn't in those first couple of matches for the Argentines, it was actually because he got himself a suspension after the last game of last competition. It was Argentina versus France. It was quite heated, and the same can be said about the quarterfinal that took place between the two sides. In the end, France were able to win that one, which is why we see Argentina here going head-to-head with New Zealand. Hi from Ireland. Padraig O'Brien here. How you doing, lads? Doing very well, Padraig. Hopefully you are doing well also. And yes, looking very smart. Hi, Hamish says Moa Hunters. Welcome in, mate. And also, hello, Tribal Chief of Amos Kiwi Lads. Says Blues not a very dapper outfit, but it's got but it doesn't go well with your Southern Hemisphere cheerleader posture. Big love, man. Hope you're well. Says Sebastian. Yeah, that was an interesting comment, that one. Did enjoy it. But yeah, we have been considered slightly biased towards the Southern Hemisphere as of late. Apparently, ladies and gentlemen, inside joke. Some of you will know it from one of the previews. But this game, in terms of a prediction, it's going to be extremely hard to judge, because who is going to be more determined coming into this contest after losing the possibility of retaining their medal? Of course, Argentina last Olympics, they got themselves the bronze. New Zealand last Olympics, they got themselves the silver. And the only side that can match what they did last year at the moment is Fiji. They have got their big match up against the Australians. And like they are just saying, Australia have never been in medal contention, so a massive game for them in only about an hour and a half's time. We will also be covering that one on the channel too. But hopefully you guys are all doing well. Do let me know your score predictions in the comments. This one is about 5 minutes away from starting between these two sides. Argentina, throughout their group stage, they were consistent. They had that loss to the Australians, which I think they weren't too happy about. Hey, dude, I have a question, says JDB. Go for it. I hope this is a normal question. We've had a few times that people have said, I have a question, and then it's the randomest thing that they can think of. South Africa versus New Zealand. Says Daniel, and hey, Hamish, or hi, Kiwi Lads, and everyone. Says John, 1-0. Says James Evans, which which are we talking about in 1-0 at the moment? Like I know there's football, or there was football on it. Hockey is on at the moment. Which 1-0 are we talking, James? Unless that's your score prediction, in which case 3-0 is the lowest that we can have, unless, of course, it is 0-0. Why are there no New Zealand Kiwi rugby games or rugby league games this year? I actually have no idea. I see that the World Cup is going to be in 2026 in Australia, and I like how it takes 14 minutes. Says Mr. All-In New Zealand 27-17 for the Argentines, and seeing France lose would make me happier than seeing New Zealand taste defeat, says Katzenel, and it will be a South Africa versus Fiji final, says Daniel. And then that would be a massive final for those two sides. Of course, we would have our preview coming out of that final. Do see a few people in attendance already enjoying the atmosphere of Sevens. For some of these people watching the Olympic Sevens, this will be the first time they have experienced a Sevens event, and it is the highest attended Sevens event that we have ever seen. 69,000 in the stands almost already. I would say they've at least got 60,000 the way that it currently sits. Now, I will mention sadly, there is no Regan Ware. He had a shoulder injury on day one. They weren't sure if he was going to be able to recover in time, and sadly, he has not been able to. So he will be missing. There's also another injury involving the New Zealanders. I believe that would be, who was number 6 for the Kiwis in their starting lineup? Narohi McGarvey-Black. He will be missing from this game as well. Anyone can win. I just want the Box to lose. And France winning the gold medal would be a disaster for the world. Says Sebastian, might as well live it straight through, Amish. Says Mr. All-In, we've already scheduled a few of the different live streams that we are going to be doing, so we aren't doing the next match taking place between Ireland and USA. That is because we've got a little bit more of a build-up for that South Africa versus France semi-final. It looks like, once again, we have got start of the day involving the tapping of the stick. I haven't learned what that's actually about yet. I know that it's some sort of like ritual or some sort of tradition thing that they're bringing in for this Olympics. I should have been listening, but I talk too much, so I can't actually hear any commentary through my ears, and South Africa will win, says Daniel. Oh, so you're saying gold medal for the South Africans. They have qualified as 8th as well, so that would make it just that little bit more impressive as well. But a few fans for New Zealand in the stands. This looks like Angus Ta'avao in disguise at the moment. And Roger says Mr. All-In, and bonjour says it's Sandor there. But of course, those semi-finals, they're looking pretty close. We have got there, you're looking sharp today. Are you getting married? Go the Box, says this LaRue. But yeah, it's an exciting day. Finals rugby, of course. We do have to dress up. Oh, I mean, there's a different kind of dress up in the stands I'm seeing at the moment. Some people, of course, bringing those big inflatable dinosaur outfits to the game. Sounds like New Zealand being welcomed out onto the field, but it's going to be Jonathan Legel, who is the man who will be doing the tapping of the stick. He's married to the job, says Sandor. It's great to see Jonathan Legel before the semi-final for the French. And now both sides making their way out of the tunnel. Is that a huge tie or are you tiny, says James Evans? A little bit of both. Like, it's not hugely massive. It's just the fact that it's a double Windsor, so it makes it a little bit larger, dressing up for the funeral. Says Cats, and now Argentina once again will get booed out of the tunnel. They are used to it by now. Every single game that they have played, and they have been booed almost out of the stadium. France to smash South Africa, says John. And Go Fiji says, eyes on my keyboard. And the way South Africa have reached the knockout, I think they will become champions, says Sanatane. And that's the thing. They came in as 8th qualifier, like I mentioned, but that does not mean that they aren't considered a really good shot of winning the competition. They come in as underdogs up against the France side. Of course, we will go a little bit more in depth into that one when we do get towards it. Only 45 minutes away from the start of our live stream for that game, and only an hour away from the kickoff of that match. But New Zealand out of the tunnel. They want to end their Sevens campaign on a high. Scott Curry, Tony Nashu, Kulia Rokalisoa, Dylan Collier, Moses Leo, Leroy Carter, and also Joe Webber as the starting lineup. Where can I stream? Depends on whereabouts you are in the world, but your best bet is to search up on Google Olympics, where to watch in, and then you put in what country you're in, and then it will be the best way of seeing it. We have the CBC doesn't have this, neither does the Olympic site. It's surprising that they wouldn't have. Did they have day 1 and 2, Pierre, or was it just like anything other than the Sevens? That Blitz and New Zealand game last night, though, I don't know if they were just equally bad. says Mr. All-In, hello La France, and congrats on 50k subs, amazing milestone, says Sebastian. That was another reason why I decided to put on the suit as well. Did hit the 50,000 today, which is a pretty massive achievement. Definitely because our goal originally was to hit 50, and now we've added 3 zeros on to the end of it. Yeah, they had day 1 and 2. So yeah, that seems very weird that they wouldn't do the finals. Hopefully it is just a bit of a glitch and they start showing it very soon as we do get to the kickoff. And China both won gold till now. Oh, the countdown clock has happened, but the goalposts are having a problem at the moment. That is not normally what you would say at the start of a game. One of the goalposts, cables got stuck to it. So someone's going to try and straighten the goalpost now. There we go. It's back up straight. The crowd are loving it. I don't know why someone decided to tie a wire to a goalpost. I guess it makes sense in terms of the spider cam. But we're going to have another countdown now. Sabotage, says James Evans. And if France wins, South Africa need to give back Damien Delindi. CS Cats are now there. And what is a playoff final? So pretty much this is a 5th place playoff final. So whoever wins this goes on to face off the 5th place. This crowd is pathetic. In what regard? I feel like it was pretty awesome that they started cheering it rather than booing it. I feel like that could have been the worst thing that would have happened. But Rodrigo Isgro jumps up with the ball, knocks it backwards off the get-go. Of course, we've seen some great battles between the Pumas and the All Black Sevens over the last 12 months or so. Where can we watch this, please, says Harry Ellie. Depends on whereabouts you are in the world, but like I said earlier on, your best bet is to go and type into Google Olympics, where to watch in, and then insert your country, and then hopefully it will tell you your best options of being able to watch the game. Akulio Rockley should have played All Blacks, or fullback for the All Blacks, says JDB. And also we got their pity about booing my crowd, says Hillary, 5th place, lol. Although it's better than, of course, being Great Britain, Krampus, and not even qualifying for the Olympics. All love Hamish on the 50. Well-deserved hard work, endless hours, says Nars Williams. Greatly appreciated. And of course, you have been here since pretty much the start. Sebastian's coming up on 3 years of channel membership, which is insane. That's like 36 months, isn't it? And what kind of pass is that? That looked like the kind of pass that you have in wet conditions. Unfortunately, just a slippery ball there. And now Argentina will have themselves the scrum on New Zealand's 22. Passing back across Palandini now. Going to the right-hand side. Santiago Mari with the bounce pass. That's going to be the knock-on from Rodrigo Isgro. Breakspear says it's gone backwards. I have no idea how that can be considered backwards. But it's going to now be a scrum for the second knock-on from the Argentines. Rub it, Solden, says James Evan. And also these blokes on the carver early. And hey, darling, how have you been, says Tony? I've been doing all right, Tony. Hopefully the same to you. I don't know why, Tony, but you seem like the kind of bloke that would be very into the Olympics. Like, not so much the Rugby 7 side of things, but just a man who would put on the TV at like 1 a.m. while you're up having like a glass of water or something and just watch a little bit of the fencing. Have I got that vibe right, or is that completely a mile off? Joe Weber now, nice step on the halfway line. Inside ball to Leroy Carter. It is slippery, it is slidey out there on the park at the moment, but Carter has moved up to 20, less than that, 15 metres out from the line. Kulia Rocaliso with Tony Nashu. He's tried to go through, gets the offload to a Kulia Rocaliso, and he will score it between the sticks early on. The French crowd are happy, of course, because it's anyone but Argentina scoring tries. And we have got there out of the New Zealand felt of quarter-final loss against the Springboks at the Olympics, says Mono Lagrange. I know that Scott Curry was gutted, the man who was out there on the field, but they also know that they just didn't play well enough in that quarter-final. Yes, I am that man. Not so much on the waters, though. I did want to say something more heavy than water, but I thought, not at 1 a.m., surely. Definitely if you've been asleep beforehand, but glass of milk, maybe? Yeah, milk drinker in the middle of the night, Tony? It's a sentence I didn't think I'd say today, but Akulia Rocalisoa puts it down between the sticks. And now it's the chance to line this kick up. Do I want to watch the game? Why does nothing ever show the bloody rugby? It's a great question because I always have this little bit of a hunch with World Rugby as well. If you want to grow the game of rugby, you have to show the game of rugby in multiple places, not just the big broadcasters. Even like highlights of the Olympic Sevens has been impossible to find unless like it's New Zealand, because they have at least got the Sky Sport licensing, so they will upload the highlights. So the highlights of this game will be on New Zealand's Sky Sport YouTube channel. So I could recommend that in terms of being able to watch it afterwards. But for live options, yeah, there are very limited options, unfortunately. Palandini going back across to Santiago Mari. Now going to the left-hand side here for Argentina, just trying to build up some phases. New Zealand thought it was forward, but it is going to be play on now. Gustin Fraha tackled on the halfway line now. Can't even get the highlights on Stan, and I pay for it. See, here's JDB. Yeah, see, that's pretty rough. That you have a Stan subscription and you can't even watch it afterwards. Although in Australia, I know that it's on 9 now for most of the Olympics, so I would recommend checking out that. If you're an Aussie, that's going to be a loose ball knocked on by Joe Weber and actually has come through the middle, lost his footing. Quick tap taken by Palandini on the halfway line, going to the left-hand side now for the Argentines. Big shot on Fraha. Going to be tackled by Moses Leo. Has to try and get out of that breakdown. 2 men getting held in by Matthias Azutsuk. Now, Rodrigo Isgro going across there. Oh, that looked a little bit high from Leroy Carter. They're only going to be a few metres out from the line now. Palandini, little flick pass off. Isgro, another penalty. Going the way of Los Pumas. They're going back for it. This ref thinking he's reffing the goal game. Says Mr. All-In. It's such a shame these two teams are in a meaningless game. Says Distracted Sports. It is, because, like, to be honest, both of these sides, I think, if things were slightly different, if the stars aligned, you know, these two sides would have been capable enough to be in those medal playoff games, but unfortunately for them, just hasn't happened in this Olympics, and that is the beauty, but also the nightmare that can be sevens. Sometimes you end up on the right side, and other times you end up on the wrong. But Argentina, you know, they've been top of the pool all throughout the regular season. Fiji, a side who have struggled throughout the regular season, are the furthest out of these top contenders at the moment. So it just shows that anything can happen in the world of sevens. That was close for Palandini. That ball's come out the side. Collier was offside, though, and you have to ask the question, if he didn't grab that ball, it probably would have been a try. Oh, great step from Tobias Wade, and he will put the ball down. Argentina score themselves another try. What time is it over there? At the moment, it's 12:37. At the moment, does it snow in Waimea? Not very often, no. Like, the only way it snows here is if it gets down to sea level, but I know that we're supposed to have snow next week down to about 400 metres, but that's still a wee way up from myself. But the level of other teams are pretty good too. This is one of the most competitive sevens in terms of the amount of teams at great level. I agree. What is the game in aid of? Says Tony. So whoever wins this will end up going through to the 5th place final, to play off for 5th place. Where did you get that black blazer? From a store a long time ago. I think I wore this at the ball back in high school. So I'm surprised it still fits, to be honest. But it does, luckily. Only just. I got to undo a few buttons every once in a while to let me blob out of it. But other than that, we're all right. That kick has gone over from Argentina, I should mention. And now the score is 7-all between these two sides. Loose ball. Argentina kicking it forward. But there was an original knock on. So now New Zealand will have themselves the scrum feed. And only 20 seconds left. High school ball. Says Crumpus. Yeah, the one that you wouldn't have been invited to, Crumpus, back when you were at school. Because they were probably worried at what you would do. And how many games are you doing, Hamish? And what times, respectfully? So the next one that we are doing will be starting at 1:15 a.m. New Zealand time. But the game itself starts at 1:30. Then there is a game at 2 a.m., a game at 3 a.m., and then I believe at about 4 a.m. And then the finals at 5:30 or 5 a.m. New Zealand time. Now going off to the right-hand side, Argentina with Rodrigo Isgro. Now going in behind. If 5th come on, it's the Olympics. Let the boys go home. Says Distracted Sports. And that's a beautiful step there from Argentina. I mean, to be fair, there are guys playing off later on tonight or later on, like 2 hours' time. They have to play off to see who finishes 11th and who finishes 12th. Like, that seems more brutal than 5th place, I would say. Because, like, they already know that they've had a pretty rough tournament. But it's going to be half-time in this contest. 7-all between the two teams. Close as always when these two sides do play off. They've shown already that the wet conditions will play factor in the later games. The black blazer suits you very fine, Hamish. Says Monte Lagrange. Cheers. But yeah, 1 try apiece in this contest. I want to say Argentina probably had a little bit more momentum as the half came to a close. And let's go, semi-final day. Can't wait to see the Blitzbox beat France. Who you got for the game, says Harry Ellie. if we're basing it off the first half, I think that Argentina might edge this. But then saying that, New Zealand are one of those sides that can turn it around late in the game. We saw that in their contest up against the Irish, how they were down by a try, then they came back and managed to win the contest. But, yeah, the rainy conditions, I have to say, they didn't look good in them yesterday, New Zealand. Argentina, they weren't too bad, but they also came back late up against the French. Respect the suit chat. Give those likes to Hamish, says Mikhail. Yeah, anyone who hasn't already, be sure to leave a like. And, of course, subscribe to the channel. We are going to be back for the 2 semi-finals, which are just around the corner. First one being South Africa versus France, followed directly by the matchup taking place between Fiji and Australia. When you talk about 2 big semi-finals, that is certainly, I don't have high hopes for South Africa Sevens. We are too inconsistent, says Redline. And we've also got to remember, the players have had a whole extra day more than they normally would have preparing for a semi-final. Because normally, you have your semi-final on the same day as the final, right? But then you always do that the day after you've played your quarter. That's not the case here. They had to wait for the extra 24 hours to have the opening ceremony. We'll come and get the sack after the Olympics. I don't think you can sack a fella off this. If that makes sense, I feel like there's been enough that the players could have done better. As well, we've got a new member on the channel. It is William Fraser. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated for you hitting that membership button. And this has got to be the worst Olympics when you can't watch the games, says Harry. And we have got there, for some reason, Supersport shows the games at 9 p.m. South African time. Game starts at 1:30 p.m. South African time, says Johan. Okay, so they've got the final scheduled by the looks of it. That's confidence from Supersport. I'll give them that. The fact that they're backing themselves to be in the final before the semi-final has even taken place. I don't think I could handle another Bok win. Nothing against the athletes. Just their fans are truly insufferable, says Tony there. And remember the 1-pointer at the World Cup today, 2-pointer to France, says Sean. And fun fact, the last time South Africa played France in a sevens contest, they won by 1 point. So, we're going to be breaking that all down in the build-up to the matchup between South Africa and France. That is starting in 30 minutes' time, ladies and gentlemen. So, of course, be sure to check that out. New Zealand, they will concede the scrum feed now. A lot of players going up for that ball. And Bok not going to win. See, there's a red line there. And when will the final be? I believe it is 5 a.m. New Zealand time or 5:30 a.m. New Zealand time. One of those two. But we will be scheduling it as soon as it is confirmed at who is going through. Is ball pumped at 7 PSI? If so, we have a chance. There's Martin Smith. Now on the 22-metre line, Graziano gets it away there to Tobias Wade, who again goes to Graziano. Palandini tries to spin. Leroy Carter tries to contest, but he is unsuccessful in the venture. Dylan Collier and Scott Curry make another tackle. DuPont going to be hungry for revenge, and that crowd's going to help them. But the question is, are they going to put DuPont in the starting lineup or off the bench? Because the last 2 contests for the French, he has come off the bench rather than starting. Is that because they're saving him for the big games? Or is that because, they want to have him as that impact later on in a contest? Yeah, Marcos Maneta was not even on the field at that point. In fact, no, sorry, it was Augustin Fraha. He was about 2 metres over the sideline, called for the pass, and it seems as if he forgot how big a rugby field was. No pun intended, is playing. The great player, or great Argentine player, says Martin Smith. And I've had 2 cans of 500ml Vs. That's a lot of caffeine, JDB. You got to be careful having that much. If it's a draw, can they share 5th? They cannot, no. They have to have a winner in this matchup. There are 5 minutes remaining, and one of these 2 sides, they will be successful. It looks like Colia Rocaliso now will go across to Leroy Carter. So Gonzalez is on the field for Graziano. Offload from Weber finds Leroy Carter. Another offload to the right here for New Zealand. I have a conspiracy theory. Maybe this he's injured, says Katzenel. Now Leroy Carter gives it off to Scott Curry. Dylan Collier trying to back his pace up against Luciano Gonzalez. That did not go too well. He wasn't quite as quick as the Los Pumas player. And there's a counter-up coming from Argentina, but they did leave their feet. So it's going to be New Zealand with the quick tap. Leroy Carter going to the left-hand side. Weber inside ball to Akulia Rocaliso. We know what kind of step that man has. Gets it out wide to Moses Leo. Cuts back inwards. Great tackle made on him. Kulia Rokalisoa. Good hands. Gets it away to Curry. New Zealand not really going forward at the moment. And my third, Max Hazy. Tasty, says Martin. Now offload. Collier tries to find his teammate, but Azutsuk is the man in position. Now Collier looks for the turnover. A little bit of a slip there for Fraha. He's had a bit of a rough game so far. Got the pass off the field, slipping over his own 2 feet. To the right again. Here comes Fraha. He's going to go off. No, he is tackled well by Moses Leo. Counter ruck, coming from Joe Weber. They can't get it, New Zealand at the moment. Both of these sides doing very well to hang on to possession. Upon playing sevens, lol. Says Grumpus. We don't look great, says Tony. And now Palandini with the inside ball here. Another offload. And Tobias Wade. He will be tackled just short of the line, but gets the offload to Luciano Gonzalez. And Argentina will now take the lead. Screen scoreboard is still stuck at halftime. Says Hillary. Is it? It may have just updated because I've just looked at it and it says 12-7. And we have there who is Fraha. Is it like Fraha, says Martin. And the boys are tired. Very tough game. And yeah, like I mentioned, these guys are all used to momentum in terms of the way that they play the game of sevens. Normally, if you have a bad day or you have a good day, you go back the next day and you continue playing. Whereas here, they have had to wait a lot longer to get back out there on the field. New Zealand looking like 7 Joe Biden's on the field. Says JDB. Then we have got Carlos and the chat as well. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are keeping well. The kick at the post has missed. How many minutes left? We have still got 3 minutes remaining in this contest. But great offload from Tobias Wade. Just waiting patiently for that next offload. My physics teacher was all about momentum as well. I took that the wrong way a little bit, Martin, I'll be honest with you, but it's a good joke. I like it. I think it's a joke. I hope it's a joke. Now, another kickoff here will be Gaston Ravol, experienced veteran of the Argentine game. This will be his last Olympics, I believe, in a sevens kit. Don't see him being there at the 2028 Olympics. And that man says Salah, the crowd are booing as well. 2 minutes remaining. And he's going to kick it off long and does get it into touch. That is a fantastic kick. I loathe the time wasting for kickoff should be outlawed. Says Katzenau. Yeah, unfortunately it is well within the rules that you are allowed to stall a little bit. But yeah, it is one of those ones that does normally frustrate people. My physics jokes was PG-13, you dirty man. And thanks for the commentary. I appreciate being able to follow online. Excellent work, says Craig. And we are going to be covering the 2 semi-finals, which are just around the corner. Now, nicely claimed by Dylan Collier. Passes back to Andrew Newstub. There's going to be an advantage here for offside. Brady Rush. Another penalty does go the way of the Kiwis. Can Newstub get them on the right foot? He was absolutely distraught after the Kiwis were knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Olympics. Is there a limit on substitutes? I don't know of. Says Joel. I don't believe so. But yeah, it seems like both of these sides are waiting quite late to then make their subs. Currently only 1 minute remaining, and I think we've only seen maybe 2 or 3 made by both of these teams. Now Andrew Newstub is going to go for this line out, wanting to make sure that the ball is dry in these wet conditions. It's gone over the top, claimed by New Zealand now, passes off. Here comes Finian Norfolk, gets through 3 tackles, offloads it to player Cook Savage. A little bit of a nervous moment for that man, as he had a bit of a juggle. Newstub now going back across to player Cook Savage. New Zealand need the late try to take this one possibly to golden point time. Offload up to Moses Leo. Oh, what a shot that was going to be on him, but he bumps straight through it and scores the try anyway. And I expect Tobias Wade will be getting a pay rise after this game. Get it? Wage pay. Says Martin. That is a brilliant bit of work from Moses Leo to score the try. New Zealand now have a kick to come. If they get it over, could be the end of the game. The surely best way is to put them on shortly after halftime, looking a bit gassed. Yeah, I think that the subs for New Zealand have certainly made the impact in the second half. Let's go New Zealand, says Red Line. But now for this kick, they have to make sure that it goes over. Because if they don't, more than likely we are going to golden point time in the first game of the day. Blitz supposed to win by 1 point. And he's missed it, Andrew Newstub. Which means now for the first game of the day, we are going to golden point time, ladies and gentlemen. Blitzbox are going to win the Olympics, says Jeremy there. And Blitzbox to win by 1 point just to rub it in even further. The French will then jump up and down. No French tourists coming to South Africa, and French embassy in South Africa will withdraw out of the country. Says Johan, geez, you've planned it all out, haven't you? Last time the two sides did play, though, France and South Africa, it was 1 point's difference in the sevens as well as the union. I heard New Zealand has a B team. Says Martin, and y'all have too much faith. We have their stupid prick, says James. Jeez, those are nice words, James. Is that because you can't see the game? Because if you had just said, where can I watch it? I'm in this country, I could have told you. But now you're a bit angry, aren't you? We have there to lose to France, says JB. And Golden Try, says Crumpus, and no, says Moa Hunters. Hey, you ever see drop kicks in sevens? Very rarely, but it has happened. We've seen it in the past where sides have opted for that drop kick to get the extra 3 points. Where can I watch? I'm in Canada, says Pierre Oliver. I believe Canada, from what I know, is Peacock for your broadcaster. I could be wrong there, though, but I know that Peacock do have some of the Olympics, at least for the US anyway. Insufferable. Just read them out, Hamish. Says Distracted Sports. We have got there. Useless, these 7 teams are. Says Harry there. Yeah, we'll be going to golden point time now between these two sides. There'll be some nervous players out there on the park. South Africa will prove another point against France. There's LFG. And yeah, that game is not too far away from starting, ladies and gentlemen. If you are new, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Is Peacock a YouTube channel? It is not. No, it is a broadcaster. Will smash your dad, JDB says red line. Now Gaston Ravol ready to kick this one off for Los Pumas as they go to golden point. Golden point, pretty self-explanatory at the moment, but pretty much whoever gets the first try point of some sort is going to get the win in this game and move on to the 5th place playoff game in only a couple of hours. It's kicked off. New Zealand claim it from Argentina's kick. Newstub, the man who was lifted up New Zealand inside. They're 22 at the moment. Sione Molia gives it off to Moses Leo. He's got pace. Gaston Ravol, I believe, has pushed him into touch. Yes, he has. And Argentina says, Sakiasi, hopefully I've said that correctly. Come on, New Zealand, says JDB. But Gaston Ravol had to make that tackle, or else Leo might have had enough pace to go all the way. Now Argentina, they will have themselves the line out now. Big smile on the face of Fihi Ferdinand Norfo. Does look like Leo is now going to be subbed as a golden point, says Distracted Sports. It certainly is. NBC as the broadcaster and Peacock as the digital streaming version, says Katzenell. And good morning, says Gordon. Welcome in, mate. If you have been keeping well, we've got 4 minutes remaining in extra time, half number 1. New Zealand making the tackle now on Elizalde. Or at least they're trying to. He's just not fallen over. Now he has. New Zealand having 3 men in that breakdown, though, which does mean that Luciano Gonzalez may have a bit of space to work with. He is going to be tackled by Leroy Carter. Now the counter-ruck coming from New Zealand, but they left their feet. So will be the penalty now in favour of the Pumas. I have a big Willie from VG, man. Welcome in, mate. Congratulations. Is this a bronze medal match, says Johan? It is not. This is a playoff for 5th place. So whoever wins this game then goes on to the next contest to get 5th place. What is this? Who wants to watch someone talking about the game instead of watching the actual game, says Anon. We've got about 300 people, Anon, but if you want to watch the game, more than likely you will have to pay money because there aren't really too many free options, and if there are, I'm surprised that you are here rather than being able to find them. You know? Gaston Ravol, little knock on there from the Argentines, which now means there is going to be a scrum for New Zealand just inside of their own half. Thank you, says VG Man. And your commentary is excellent, says Sean. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciate it. And 5th place, okay, thanks, Hamish, says Johan. Yeah, so 5th place semi is what this one is. So then from there, you go into the 5th place game. Jesus. A high tackle is always a soft in sevens. They can be a little bit. Like any contact with the neck or the head goes straight to a penalty. Sometimes it can even be a yellow card for something as light as that one. I ditched Sky, went from 43 to $50 a month rip-off, says Martin Smith. I know that for the Olympics they were doing some sort of deal here in New Zealand, which I think it was $35 for the whole of the Olympics. The ref should be in the 15s. And Martin Peacock is US, not sure who carries Olympics in Canada. We should have the right to watch it for free. I agree. But sadly, because of YouTube's strict copyright infringement laws, any match footage or audio, like they don't even have to be watching the stream, and they will take the stream straight down with a copyright strike. And then you get banned for 3 months and possibly sued by the copyright holder. But I agree. The Olympics, no matter where people are in the world, should be watched for free. And love the channel, my bro. As you heard live right now, I'd have not caught the game. Top man watching from Wellington says Primitive in there as well, or Primitive, I think it is. So thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated. And of course, we will be live for the next contest that has taken place. Well, in fact, no, the semi-final is our next one that will be taking place. South Africa versus France. This is the first Olympics not free on New Zealand TV. I think it's free on Sky Open, but I'm not sure how to get Sky Open. I think it's if you're on, like if you've got Freeview or anything like that, there are actually channels added. Well, thank you for your respectful manner regardless, says Anon. Yeah, I mean, we started off a bit rough, I would say, with your first sentence of what is this crap, but I feel like we slowly, it's nice to meet you. And I from South Auckland, says Bob. Now, Gaston Ravol on the halfway line. We've only got 2 minutes remaining of this extra time period before we do end up in the second half. About 35 metres out from the line for Argentina's Marcos Maneta. Goes across to Raval. Gonzalez, big fin coming in on Brady Rush. Gets rid of two. And Fihi Finianofo wrestles him down. Up the Hamish, says Bill. Elizalde tackled again. This game just seems like neither side are going to budge at the moment. We have good there. How you watching the game, says Kalhara. I'm watching on Sky Sport 2 here in New Zealand. Countries need to invest in into public broadcaster again, says Katza now. Nice run forward from Palandini. In fact, it's Rodrigo Istro this time, and Fihi Finianofo gets himself the penalty. Now Sione Molia going to the left-hand side. This is their chance to get the counter-attack going. Some massive run forward from Rodrigo Istro in terms of having to shuffle back and help with defence. Collier moves up to the 22-metre line, I should say. Now to play Cook Savage, skip pass out to the right-hand side. Brady Rush with the bump of New Stubb sells the dummy, and he will get it. And that is going to be New Zealand in extra time defeating Argentina. That will book them their spot in the 5th place final. But the question is, will they play Ireland or will they play the USA? Proper rugby YouTuber covering Sevens too. Respect, says First 15 Rugby. Appreciate you being here, mate. We still need to work out what we're going to do in terms of the collaboration. Well, I guess November internationals, if that's not too far away, seeing as it will be North versus South. Yeah, we'll have to get something going. Of course, Alex Gonzalez, only 27. I feel like he's been around for 30 years. He scored a lot of tries in his time, that is for sure. Andrew Newstuff, that was a beautiful dummy. Did have to pay a Cook Savage on the inside, so that is why defender was sold the wrong way. And we have also got the Argentina deserve to be relegated, and great stuff. And these, thanks, cheers, says Deacon in there. And my illegal stream isn't working, sorry, says Anon. And I'll be watching the Olympics this time, or not be watching the Olympics this time, because of the parts of that opening ceremony disgusting, to stand up against stuff like that. I haven't even seen the opening ceremony. To be honest, I was editing till about 5 a.m. yesterday morning, and then I went to sleep till the afternoon. So I didn't even catch it. I think it was on at like 5 a.m. New Zealand time, but by then I was already asleep. But this game is over, ladies and gentlemen. New Zealand did get themselves the win. New Zealand struggling to reach playoff for 5th. I mean, they've faced a valiant side in Argentina, a side that were top throughout the whole of the regular season. So, it's not exactly a bad game to go down to the wire in terms of the opposition skill level. Is it a draw? It is not. New Zealand have managed to get the win, and they will be going through to the next stage of the competition. We have their thanks to the content namage, Big Agol, says Mikhail. And also we have got the Hello French. We'll be live for Ireland USA. We won't be live for that one, but only because we are going live early for the semi-final taking place between South Africa and France. That is our only reason that we won't be live for that one, but we will be giving you updates throughout the second part of that game, if that makes sense. Will you be live for the Bulls versus Western Province for the Currie Cup? We will not, only because it does overlap with the finals of the Sevens. So we will be doing the Sevens all throughout today, including in 15 minutes time, we will be back and ready to go for the next one. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all for the next one.